Okay. First thing I want you to do is scratch out 12-3 and put what? 12-6. December 6th. All right. So go ahead and do me a favor. Like I said, scratch out the date on the opener of 12-3 and go ahead and change it to 12-6 for me. So let's take a look at the first equation. This is what you guys just took the quiz over yesterday on. Solving equations with multiple variables, part 1. The reason why it's part 1 is because really you're only having to simplify and you only have variables on one side of the equation or on one side of the line of equality. So when I go to simplify this equation, what's the first step I'm going to have to do? What's the first step I do when I go to... So, got that?
Oh, but then you draw the rainbow.
What's the rainbow called? Distribute. Yeah, so I'm going to distribute. What number am I using to distribute? -2. So take that negative with it. So Daisha, go ahead and distribute it out for me. Tell me what you're doing, what you're multiplying together. Which equals?
-6.
Don't forget your variable. Okay, then what do you multiply?
2 and 5.
What kind of 2 and 5 are they?
That would be a 5 and 2.
There you go.
And
Then what do you do?
drop the 2x.
Yeah, you just bring that 2x down.
And write on everything -2.
Nice. Good job. After you distribute, you now have one more step you need to do. So what do you do after you distribute? Alex? Sorry. Okay. Which equals? You're adding -6x plus 2x. Yeah, don't multiply them. A couple people did that. So -6 plus 2. If you owed me $6 and you paid me $2, how much you still owe me?
4.
Yeah, that's all right. So we're going to have -4x. What do I bring on down that does not have a like term I'm going to combine with? Yeah. You're right. Then I just bring down my equals -6. Okay, the last step for this section of notes is to do what? What's my last step according to my notes? Yeah, solve as usual. So what do I get rid of first? Anybody?
Don't you get rid of the 10?
Yep, how so?
Negative.
Okay, so I'm going to drop down -4x equals... Now, this is -6 minus 10.
That's going to be -16.
That's right. No, you're not going to plus 4. Why wouldn't you add it? Because that 4 is touching the... Yeah. So you're going to divide by what? What kind of 4 is that? -4. That's right. So x equals 4. Now, it's a positive 4 because 2 negatives, when you multiply and divide only, so 2 negatives equal a positive when you multiply and divide. Okay. So that's the first one. I feel your pain. It was a struggle.
No, it's cold.
It is cold.
No, it's not.
I'm hot.
We're just like full of complaints, aren't we? Okay, next one. So this next one is similar to what we just did. It's 11 equals 4y minus 1y times 10. Or excuse me, y plus 10. So I'm going to go ahead and get it set up by drawing my line of equality. Circle my variables. In this case, if you notice, I said variables. And I'm going to go ahead and begin simplifying. Can I simplify anything on my left side?
No.
Nah, so I just bring that 11 down. What about on my right side?
Yep.
Yeah. So where do I start?
Wouldn't be the 1.
Yeah, what are you going to do with that? What kind of 1 is that? What are you going to do with that -1? You multiply, which is called... What's that term called, though? Distribute. So we're going to distribute that -1 with the y and that -1 with the 10. But what do I do with this 4y that's up there by itself? Do I do anything with it? Nah, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring that down so I don't forget about it. Okay. Kira, what's -1 times y? What kind of 1? -1 times y, what do you get? Negative 1 what?
One.
There you go. And then go ahead and distribute the second part.
It's negative 9.
So close. Negative 1 times 10. What's 1 times 10? 10. Negative 10. Good. Damon, now what do I do? After I distribute, what do I do next? No. No. What are you going to do?
4G minus, 4Y minus negative 4.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're combining like terms. So you're taking 4y minus 1y, and you get what? 3y. And then you bring down,
Plus that negative 10.
and then what do I bring down on my left side?
Negative 11.
All right. Then you do what?
Then you're going to get that Y by itself, so you got to cross on that negative 10 plus 10.
Good, so you're going to solve as usual. Okay. 11 plus 10
21.
equals
3Y. And you're going to divide
by.
It should be Y equals 6.
Try again.
5. 3, 6, not 50.
What's 21? There we go. Bless you. Good.
Hey, write all this stuff down. See, I should have to do it kind of stuff.
Sorry. Yeah. Try to get it down quickly. So once you get that side down, do me a favor, flip it to the back. Now, the last equation, like I said, that's really what we're going to be talking about more today. But while you're waiting, what I'd like to see you do is go ahead and circle your variables, draw your line of equality, and you can probably start simplifying each side of the line of equality. Can you come to my class next hour? 3B. You can't next. Second hour is a really tough class for us, and it just doesn't work well for me to work one-on-one. I can work with you 3B though.
Yeah, I seen that class.
3B got different class?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Y'all second our class, so I've been in
They keep us busy, don't they? All right. So, as I said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to circle all these variables. And I'm going to draw my line of equality. Now, this is going to start the new lesson today. We're still going to follow the same rules as what we did with the first lesson, except for I'm going to throw one new step at you. The first thing I'm going to do is simplify each side of the line of equality. Well, we've already done that. So we're going to simplify the left side. How do I simplify this left side? What do I have to do?
You know, put the rainbow with the four.
So what's that called? Distribute. So I'm going to distribute. Okay? And how I like to do it, I like to work them one side, then the other side. Back to the left, back to the right. So what if we distribute 4 times z, we get
4,
4z, right?
Yeah.
Then 4 times negative 3, we get,
right? 12.
okay, negative 12. 4 times 3, because you're multiplying, remember? Okay, so now I'm going to put my equal sign. I'm going to look on my right side here. Can I distribute on my right side?
Yeah.
Yes. So what number am I using to distribute? So I'm going to take 2 times z and get 2z. 2 times positive 3 and get positive 6. And then what do I bring down? Plus 4. Okay. So what I basically did, I distributed on both sides if possible. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to think to myself, what do I do after I distribute?
You gonna get that 12 out? Get that.
No. What, according to your notes, what's the next step you do? Don't tell me what numbers to mess with. Tell me what the next step says. Combine like terms. So I'm going to look on my left side. Do I have any like terms to combine? No. So I'm just going to bring that down. So 4z. So it's the exact same thing I'm bringing down. But on my right side here, can I combine any like terms here?
No, yeah.
Yeah. What?
That's 6 plus 6. That's 6 plus 6.
Okay. So when I go to write this down, though, I always start with my number and variable first. So I'm going to bring down my 2z. And then I'm going to combine positive 6 plus 4. What's 6 plus 4? Positive 10. Now, this is the new step. So we've distributed. We've combined like terms on both sides of the equation. The new step that we're going to add in our notes that I'm going to give you here shortly is to get the variables on the same side of the line of equality. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter which one you choose to move. You could choose to move this one, or you could choose to move this one. My rule of thumb is I always pick on the little guy, okay? The reason why I pick on the little guy is because it's easier to deal with because you'll have less negatives to mess with at the end, okay? So if I'm going to pick on the little guy, is that going to be 4Z or 2Z?
It'll be 2Z because
Okay.
that's like a number line.
Right,
You
exactly.
gotta get that 2Z out of there, so you have to negative 2Z.
Good. So if I'm going to move this 2Z from this side of the line of equality, I'm going to have to subtract it and on both sides here. Because it's a positive 2Z. Because we're taking that variable with it right now, Kaylon. Yeah, we're taking that variable with it right now. We'll eventually get that number off the variable. But my goal right now is to get the variables on the same side. So positive 2Z minus 2Z.
2Z.
Sorry, it's Taylor.
You gotta tell Taylor you have to put that back up.
Okay, so 4Z minus 2Z equals what?
2Z.
Okay, so 2Z.
So,
And then what else do I bring down on this side?
the negative 12.
Minus 12 equals, and what do I bring down on my right
Plus
side?
10.
Okay, now what do you think the last step's going to
You
be?
gotta use that 2Z.
What's the last step? What do I always call the last step, though?
Two-step equation.
Two-step equation, which is solve as usual. So now I solve as usual, Kaylon. What do I do?
Do your negative 12,
Which is?
positive 12, and so cancel it out.
Right,
Then you do that on the other side.
okay,
You get 22.
okay,
22.
Then you put the 2Z. Yeah.
Okay.
2Z, and then you go divide 2Z.
by,
Both sides.
no, not 2Z.
Oh no, 2.
There you go. So then Z equals,
11.
perfect. So that's the new lesson, you guys. That's it.
That's easy. You know,